Hey guys, so this is just a little bit of a different video. Still sober off alcohol. I'm also sober from weed. If you guys don't follow my story, I quit drinking alcohol 13 months ago, a little over 13 months ago, and I just feel fantastic from that. In the back of my head, it's been bugging me that I still smoked a lot of weed, and I had that habit for 8 years, smoking daily for 8 years. And I mean, weed is a lot different for me. You guys may disagree, you guys may agree. I'm sure there's some doctors out there would be like, yeah, weed's not good for you, and yeah, I agree. But it doesn't do the mental fuck you up thing that it does from alcohol, for me at least. And don't get me wrong, like, yeah, I've been kind of thinking about it in the back of my head that I should quit, but I also have pretty good incentive now to quit. I have a job lined up where I need to pass a drug test, and though I live in Oregon and weed is totally legal, you can smoke weed wherever you want, basically, except for in your car, driving, and in public. They still test for it, so that's kind of kind of a bummer. But it's kind of forcing me to be in this position where I have to quit if I want to, build a career and better myself and have a promising future. So I'm getting into an electrician apprenticeship. That's why I'm quitting weed, or have quit weed. I'm on almost 3 weeks sober from weed. So I mean, it was hard at first. Don't get me wrong, not nearly as hard to me as quitting alcohol. Like, no actual withdrawal symptoms. Like, sure, I didn't have an appetite, and it was hard to fall asleep, but I still slept fine once I went to sleep. I got hungry once I, didn't eat for a little while. And I guess the biggest thing for me about not smoking is just trying to deal with just little life stressors, things that don't, like, when they don't go your way. I used to just be like, whatever, like, at least I can go home and smoke weed and not think about it. Like, it would just go away, and I'd be happy because I'd be high. So now when something comes up and I'm like, oh, or if I have a really bad day, it's kind of a bummer that I can't just be like, oh, I can't go home and forget about it from getting high. So now I'm having to just, go through life, dealing with these emotions that I've put off for a long time. And I've never really been 100% sober since I started smoking weed and drinking. I've been smoking weed regularly more than I had been drinking when I was a drunk, but the drinking was just out of hand. Drinking way too much, drunk all the fucking time, and like if I can't smoke weed, I'm like, whatever, like, that's fine. Like, at least I can tomorrow. Now I'm like, fuck, I can't smoke weed, and I know I can't smoke weed for the inevitable future. But it's not horrible, guys. Like, it's possible. You see me, I'm still smiling. Like, I'm doing what I love to do. I'm on a backwoods cruise right now. I found a nice scenic spot to pull off, take this video, and this is just what I love to do. Sober or high, I'm still having a freaking good time. So, let's see if I can set this up again. I wanted to make this video because obviously I'm making videos on my sobriety from alcohol, but I was using weed to get through my alcohol sobriety. So now I'm 100% sober, clean as a whistle, and and I don't necessarily know when my drug test is gonna be, so that's kind of a bummer. But it's also like gratifying to just be able to do it and have people support me. And it's so weird, like when I quit drinking, coincidentally 2 of my best friends, without even talking to me about quitting alcohol, they too had quit. And again, crazy, just turns out to be this way. Another, like one of my best friends who quit alcohol a year ago, within days of me quitting weed, he didn't even know I quit weed. He told me, yeah, I had to quit weed. And so I'm blessed to be able to have the friendship and the friend like group that I have, because I'm not pressured to, you know, get back on it, start smoking again. Like everyone's incredibly supportive. I surround myself with the right kind of people, and that I think has a lot to do with it. Like if you've tried getting sober and you're hanging out with the same crowd, it's 9 times out of 10 not gonna work. Like if you have a crowd that you hang out with and you guys all only do smoking weed and boozing, it's not gonna be easy to hang out with them and be sober, especially if they're wanting to, you know, have you be as fucked up as they are. Not saying it's impossible. I still have friends that drink and are alcoholics, and I can hang out with them and not be tempted at all to drink, just because my mindset is so strong on never drinking again. Like, I really don't care that I'm not ever gonna drink again. I can tell you right now, I'm gonna smoke weed again, but I also have this new idea that I'd never had before. Like once or twice a year, at least, I'm gonna take a month break, just to, you know, ground myself, just clear my head, get back into reality. And also it's a tolerance break, because when you smoke as much as I smoke, you don't really, I mean, you get high, but not like crazy high. So, yeah, like I said in the beginning, this is a little bit of a different video because I did quit weed, but I can tell you, I'm gonna smoke again after my drug test. And I've talked to the guy. He's like, every electrician I know smokes weed. Like, you're fine. You just can't smoke before your interview because they're gonna drug test you. But after that, it's really gonna be fine. Yeah, maybe if I fuck something up, they're gonna drug test me, but I read through everything and there's like a strike system, so they'll give you a notice, say, hey, you gotta take a drug test here in a month. So that'll give me time to sober up and clean up. But like I said, the worst part about it is just dealing with little stressors and learning how to cope with everything. I did have like I had an awful day, probably about day 8, I think it was, of not smoking weed. I had a terrible, terrible day. All day I was extremely angry. Anything that went wrong really got on my nerves, and that was the first day in a year that I went into a store and I actually glanced over at the alcohol, and it was just like a glance, like, oh, there's the alcohol, like that would temporarily fix my anger. But you know, I just turn the other way, don't look at it, grab a water or Mountain Dew or whatever will get you by, and go home and deal with it. Like, you can't hide from everything all the time. So there's a couple little things that I'll do. If I'm really having an awful day, I'll reach out to people and just talk about my day, and I'll get advice from them. Like, you can't beat everything on your own, so it helps to have other people give their 2 cents on how you should feel, or if your feelings are valid, or or maybe you're blowing everything out of proportion and you just need to chill the fuck out. Like, it's definitely kind of tricky, especially because I was a daily smoker all day, every day for 8 years. Now I'm just sober. So, I don't know. I like making these videos because it gives me something to look back on. And I like when it helps other people too, because I do have some people that follow my journey, and it turns out it's helping them, and I've made some good friendships off of this. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to write them down in the comments. Give me a like, subscribe, being the whole typical YouTube guy now, but no, but for real, just give me your 2 cents. Tell me how you think I'm doing, or what you're doing wrong that you think I could help you with, or, you know, there's so many different things you can comment about. You can comment on freaking mane of a haircut, but no, in all reality, I like making these videos to help people, and kind of inform everyone. I also like to just be super public about it, so more people will know what I'm going through, and I have a lot of people that'll ask about like how I'm doing almost on a daily basis. Say, hey Riley, like, still sober? I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing really good, actually. So that's gonna be it for today, guys. Smash like, subscribe, comment, follow me on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. I really don't give a shit. Take care, guys. Keep on smiling.